knows about you. You're right-handed but left-footed. I guess I used to be right-footed. You switched.
I did. My very first year playing soccer, in fact, I think it was like my first or second time practicing. I was 6 or 7 years old. And I kicked with my right foot, and I caught the grass and totally jammed my toe, and it hurt. So I just started kicking with my left foot, and it never stopped.
Hey, look at you. You're amphibious. I'm kidding.
Ambidextrous.
Kidding.
I don't think that word means, so what do you think?
I do not think that word means. Dr. Paul's keys to success: compassion, integrity, and gratitude. Dr. Paul.
So, to reiterate, I was absolutely joking. Don't track down kids per se. And, obviously, they need to get the consent before they get chiropractic care. But that being said, there is a lot that chiropractic can do for kids at so many different stages in their life. Adults and kids, they're different animals. Okay, adults have gone through their lives up to that point, even when they hit their 20s or in their late teens. They've had all of that life up to that point. And even assuming that they've had a little bit of chiropractic care or not at all, which most of them haven't, there's a lot of stresses that they've experienced up to that point. Our bodies don't change very much once we hit that point. There's this assumed, I'm going to say, I haven't seen it yet, this gradual decline once you reach a particular age. But there's not this huge change that you see with kids as they develop. I mean, an infant's spine, if you look at this handout, an infant's spine doubles in their first 2 years of age. That is a lot of change. It's a huge amount of change. And so the amount that kids have to adapt and the amount that they are growing and developing is profound. And the stresses that they have to deal with is very different than the stresses that we have to deal with. Are very different, excuse me. So I put out a bunch of these. If you don't have one, you can share with your neighbor. So first, pregnancy. They're, even before they're born, chiropractic care can help. A healthy mom means healthy baby. And I don't know of too many better ways to keep moms healthy than with regular chiropractic care while they're pregnant. It can be very effective. It can decrease a lot of the things that tend to happen with pregnancy, a lot of complications that can arise. And especially for women who are seeking a natural childbirth, pregnancy is essential. Chiropractic is essential. I said pregnancy is essential, which obviously is. Right? But chiropractic is essential. My wife got adjusted all the way through both times, and we were able to have both of our kids at home. And we had no complications. Ari took a lot longer than Kira did. Kira was like 6 hours, and Ari was like 36 hours. Ari did not want to come out. And then when they're born, infants are already dealing with stress. There's the birth trauma. As natural and smooth as those pregnancies, those deliveries can go, there can be some trauma. Especially if you're in a hospital. I hate to say it, but it's true. If you're in a hospital, there's going to be a likelihood of increased trauma because of the way that doctors use interventions. Now, sometimes interventions are absolutely necessary. Totally agree with that. But a lot of times, those interventions are done for the convenience of the doctor, not for what's best for the mom and the baby. I hate to say that, but it is true. There's a number of good resources out there. If you want to see some of those resources, let me know. I can help you with those. But when babies are born, they're learning all kinds of stuff. They're learning how to walk. Walking is a singularly difficult thing to learn how to do. We are one of the few animals that actually walk, on 2 legs. Most mammals walk on 4. Learning to walk on 2 legs takes an enormous amount of brain capacity and neurological development. So it's no wonder that kids don't actually figure it out until they're about 1 year old. Where there are some animals that are walking practically when they're born. If you look at cows, calves, they're walking as soon as they're born. We don't do that. It takes a lot more. So there's a lot of development that needs to take place. Chiropractic is focused on the nerve system, the ability of the nerve system to do all of the stuff that it needs to do, and that includes proper development, which is governed by the nerve system. When they get up to be a toddler and they are actually walking, they're not doing it quite so well. They're falling into stuff. They're falling down on their butt. They're falling downstairs. I walked into, I heard bam in my house, and I have stairs leading down to the basement. And I rush over there and I look, and my son is on the landing, kind of like this, looking up the stairs at me with this shocked expression on his face. And I looked and I was just like, you fell down the stairs. did you go boom? And he started laughing, so I knew he was okay. But obviously, I mean, that's a stress. He's gonna probably be subluxated from something like that and need to get checked out, which of course I check the kids all the time. When you get up to be a preschooler, things have changed again. They're a little bit taller, they're a little bit stocky, they're running around more, now they're doing it more, but they're taking more risks. So the falls and things that happen to them are gonna be different. So again, it changes when they begin school age. Now they're actually sitting more, which isn't so great. And they're gonna need care for that as well. They're also carrying backpacks, which are already probably too heavy. All of these are issues that kids have to deal with. And then when they get up to be a teenager, they're still growing. They're still growing. There's that awkward, gangly phase that a lot of people go through. There's growing pains. There's the social stresses of being in school and dealing with what that means, and all of that kind of stuff. All of that stress has to be incorporated by the nerve system and adapted to by the body. All of it, emotional, social, physical stress. Chiropractic, because of its focus on the nerve system, helps with all of that. It can actually help with all of that. I have a few other handouts here. This is stuff that I have available in my office. If you guys would like any of these, please let me know. I have extras here. But chiropractic in pregnancy, chiropractic in kids. This is one that I put a few handouts out for, but ear infections. I myself suffered from ear infections when I was a kid. I had them all the time. My kids did not take, or my parents did not take me to a chiropractor. I didn't go until I had back pain. That's what most people assume chiropractic is for. Instead, they took the medical route, which the medical route is lots of bacterial infections, you need antibiotics. For every 3 rounds of antibiotics a kid gets, they have a 50% increased likelihood of developing asthma. Guess who had asthma? I had asthma. I do not have asthma anymore because of chiropractic care, among other things. But ear infections. Okay, this is a great one to talk to people about. So people say, oh, my kid has an ear infection. Yeah. Have you tried chiropractic care? It may sound crazy. Give it a shot. Then this explains why, and so does the handout. That's right here. It looks like it looks like this. If we can keep kids from getting asthma, that would be great. Most ear infections are actually not bacterial in nature, they're viral anyway. Antibiotics do nothing for viruses. They can stop a secondary infection, but that's not when you're talking about ear infections. And then here's one for relatively newer moms, colic. For those of you who don't know what colic is basically crying a lot. That's the diagnosis, it's crying a lot. They're basically inconsolable. The first adjustment I ever did on a kid, thank you. First adjustment I ever did on a kid was for my niece. She was, I want to say 9 weeks old, somewhere around there. And she was just about to enter into this colic fit, which the mom, my sister-in-law just said, oh, she does this, it'll be about 2 or 3 hours of crying, and it's just what she does. After about 15 minutes of it, she said, oh, is there anything you can do? And I said, I don't know, let me check her. Within 30 seconds of the first adjustment, she passed out. She passed out. She fell asleep. And she slept for 2 hours. When she woke up, she was not crying. So then, go ahead. I was basically wrapping up.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, for my daughter, we thought it was colic, but it was reflex. And I had to have her sleep in a car seat in her crib for like a year. Do you have things, or 6 months, right? Do you have things, chiropractic things for reflex?
Yeah, reflex too. Reflex is getting more common, and the general approach is that and throwing drug that, which have other harmful effects. So yeah, chiropractic can help with that.
And the car seat,
Keeping upright.
Okay, yeah.
So I hope that gives you an idea of how chiropractic can help kids of all ages. So please get out my card. Thank you very much.